ex-boyfriend were sitting, jumps out of the car and begins to shake down the boy and ultimately the woman, taking him out of the car and talking very roughly to him. Now the woman knew this Collardi from the fact that he frequented a restaurant, always sat in her area so that she had to wait on him. Very interesting. Then he takes her after he searches her, and you'll hear how the search went down and the type of search it was. He takes her and forces her to get into his car and drive, claiming he wants to go check her garage. Why the garage, I don't know. He wants to check her garage for drugs. Tells her to get in the car, and she goes off with him. He drives directly to her house. He'd never been there before, but he goes to the house. And at that time, he asks her, which is very unusual in my mind, is there anybody home? And she said, yes, my mother. At this time, he walks to the garage, flashes his light around a little, puts her back in the car, and then begins to lecture her about her boyfriends and his personal likes and dislikes of women. Then he takes her back, drops her off, and leaves. Now, he claims that this is a confidential informant. Well, here's who the informant is. It's the ex-boyfriend who had an axe to grind. Clardy apparently met him just 2 or 3 days before, when this woman, the 19-year-old young lady, had called 911 and asked that a police officer stand by because she was going back to her ex-boyfriend's apartment to pick up her baby's clothes. So the 911 dispatched a police officer to the scene. As it turned out, coincidentally, it was Collardi. Now, she says she recognized Collardi because he was the one that was always in the restaurant. She never had anything to do with him other than, just chit-chat, pleasant talk, and that was it. Well, when the husband came to, or the ex-boyfriend came to the door, when she was there to get the clothes with the police officer, and the reason she did that was she was afraid that the ex-boyfriend would harm her. So when he came to the door, he was really upset and angry about her being there to pick up the clothes and with the police officer. And so there was an altercation developed, not physical, but vocal altercation between the two of them. Finally, Collardi said, let her go get the clothes. She went and got the clothes, went home, and to her mother's home where she was living. Now, there was no search warrant or anything executed when Collardi appeared on the scene to arrest the girl and her boyfriend and to search them. Now, to get a search warrant, he would have to go into a court and swear that the information he has is reliable and that this person is an informant. He couldn't do that. That's why he didn't get the search warrant, because the court would not have granted it, in my opinion. Because he would have to say, it's her ex-boyfriend, who I just met 3 or 4 days ago, probably never used him before as an informant, who gets the call. He saw the relationship demonstrated in his presence between the ex-boyfriend and this young woman, which was not a good relationship, obviously. So that should have been a red flag right away when he apparently gets a call from this ex-boyfriend who says that the ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend are sitting behind the restaurant using drugs and that they're drug pushers. And when they get there, they find no drugs. She says they don't even smoke. But he still hassles them. He could never have gotten a search warrant under those circumstances, but he still did this. Now you have to ask, why would he do this? That's what we want to get into here on this portion of the program. We want you to see this tape. of our interview with this young lady. And I think she lays it out pretty clearly, what happened. Will you play that tape, please? Could you tell us what your name is?
My name is Kirsten Marie Condon.
And how old are you?
I'm 19 years old. I'll be 20 in 3 months.
On August 6th of this year, something happened that directly affected your life. Would you tell me what that was?
It was August 5th.
5th, okay.
There was an officer named Dave Collardi. I was at work, which is Tom's Coney Island on Door Highway. I wasn't working at the time, but I had been working, and I was there. And the officer pulled up on us and accused us of selling drugs, selling dope. It was me and my boyfriend Gino.
All right, let me go back to the minute. You were sitting there, were you in a car? Mm-hmm. And you were parked by the restaurant?
Yeah, we were in the car, we were parked. There's a fence that divides the restaurant and then apartments right behind it. We were backed into the fence, just sitting there listening to the radio, kind of talking, getting ready to leave, because I had to be work the next morning kind of early. And right as he was getting ready to start the car is when this officer pulled up, and he pulled up really fast, and he would come out of nowhere, and he pulled probably 2 inches away from the vehicle. And then as soon as he pulled in before the car officer got out, Gino put his hand, kind of waving that we were getting